Hey man, do you know what's the best part about seeing this movie in theaters was? The audience. There were people there old enough to probably have had to serve in Vietnam, and some may be old enough to have seen the original King Kong in theaters. Even with those being assumptions, it still enhanced my movie-going experience.
Welcome to the horror show. You realize there is nowhere to run. There's no game to fight. Paranoia is getting alive.
Kong! Skull Island. Okay, I have got to admit, this is awesome. The plot! The year is 1973. The Vietnam War has just ended. Peace is being reintegrated into our nation, and the Monarch Corporation is about to be dropped. However, Bill Randa, played by John Goodman, whom is half of our Carl Denham for this movie, won't let that happen. So, with a little convincing, he is able to acquire a military escort, a tracker, played by Tom Hiddleston, a photographer, played by Brie Larson, as well as an entire science division. Their destination? Skull Island. Their target? Unknown. Their motivation? A map. The one hope to save the Monarch Corporation hides behind a lightning-filled storm cloud. But unbeknownst to the team, or to most of the team that is, the island is filled with carnivorous life of a gargantuan scale. One such life is Khan, whom is ready to do battle, but not with who you'd think. This is the fastest 2-hour movie I think I've ever seen. There was only one part that I thought for like a few seconds that this particular scene should end, and sure enough it did soon after. I was so heavily invested in the story, and the characters that I didn't even notice the minutes just fly by. Kong Skull Island is a great film to look at and get immersed in. It was filmed on location in Vietnam and is beautiful. You'd normally associate Vietnam with war and death, but this place is actually gorgeous. John Goodman can play anything with ease, and still appear as though he's putting on an Oscar-winning performance. Same with Samuel L. Jackson, who says in one part, "Hold on to your butts," which was a great nod to Jurassic Park, where he says that same line. Jackson is so good in this movie. To me, he and John Goodman make up a whole Carl Denham. Each personality is different, but not different enough to where it could be just one person. Tom Hiddleston is great in the beginning with this tough yet genuinely concerned Aurora about him. Brie Larson is also great. She sort of plays the Jack Driscoll character from Con 76. The other soldiers whose names I don't remember are actually really good. There are so many characters that it was hard to keep track of their names, but not of them. And goodness gracious, John C. Reilly is brilliant in this movie. I've always liked when comedic actors and actresses are in horror, sci-fi, adventure, action, non-comedy movies because it is something out of their element. And if they can pull it off, then it's all the more effective. John C. Reilly has a few funny moments, but they never really detract from his character. He's been on the island for 28 years. He wants to go home. I am really glad he didn't become one of those characters where they're so used to being somewhere that they sabotage everyone else's chances for escape. I hate that. There's also this really cool scene where they stumble across a destroyed vessel called the Wanderer, which is a great homage to the name of the ship from the original King Kong book from 1932. A bunch of the set pieces are awesome. There's a wall with spikes protruding out of it. Another half-sunken ship that actually has chains which hold Kong down, and one scene is actually a great reference to pretty much every Kong movie. The fights are incredible. I am a bit upset that spoiler alert, there are no dinosaurs besides skull remnants and spoilers. But the skull crawlers, water buffalo, spider, the mantis-type creature, and the birds with bladed saw-like beaks are all so cool in this movie. The gore, the effects. There's a lot of vicious deaths in this movie. One person has their arm ripped off. I am assuming the rest of him was torn apart but off screen. A dude is straight up cannibal Holocaust style, impaled through the mouth. There is also blood splatter, cut-up creatures, and a great deal more. I'm actually surprised this was PG-13. The effects were done by ILM, who also did Jurassic Park 24 years ago. They were apparently supposed to helm one of the long-lost Kong remakes that's never got made. So I can see with this they did everything they could to make amazing-looking CGI. The musical score? The music itself is a bit generic, but not terrible. I like the guitar cues. The soundtrack, on the other hand, whoa! So many great 60s and 70s tunes. This is a great movie. Not the best Kong film, but it is easily number 2 for me. The characters are developed. I don't care what other critics say. They pretty much all have a story to tell. I also enjoyed their performances. There's plenty of action and carnage to go around. It is honestly a really refreshing movie. It is not a tale of beauty and beast, it's a tale of war and beasts. Overall, I give Kong Skull Island a 4.5 out of 5. I guess the final thing I can say, while I do love Godzilla 2014, that movie is a big tease for the most part. It's like Legendary and Warner Brothers learned from their mistakes. It is kind of funny, though, that now people are starting to see the passion in Godzilla 2014 because of this movie, which makes it better for them. I noticed that when I first saw it. That was mainly because the teases for the monster fights didn't really bother me like it did a majority of viewers. Oh, and one other thing. There's an after-credit scene. It was awesome, but it's not as awesome as I had hoped it would have been, because I already knew the information. I'm Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and to leave comments and subscribe.